All right, in this lesson, we're going to work on integers. So make sure you title your notes integers, and then put today's date in the upper right-hand corner. All right, so quick definition, an integer is any number from the set of these numbers. So an integer is any number from the set of the numbers, so it's essentially any of the positive numbers that aren't decimals or fractions, and any of the negative numbers that aren't decimals or fractions, and then 0. So negative integers are less than 0. So all the numbers to the left of 0 on a number line are negative integers. Positive integers are greater than 0. So integers are any number from the set of the negative numbers, 0, and positive numbers that aren't fractions or decimals. And they also include 0, but 0 is neither negative nor positive. So if we look, that number line, the negative numbers are to the left of 0, and the positive numbers are to the right of 0, and then 0 is just right there in the middle. So you can put your number line right in your notebook right now. Okay, so let's make a table of things that are integers and things that are not integers. So integers would be any number that's positive, 0, or negative that does not have a decimal or is not a fraction. So be careful with some fractions, because some fractions you can simplify to be integers. So for example, 10 divided by 2 is 5. So that one turns into an integer. Things that are not integers are any number that has a decimal with it. Special symbols like pi, fractions that do not simplify into integers, so like fractions that simplify into decimals. And any special symbols, again, like pi or the letter e. Those things are not integers. Real-life examples of integers. Say if you're playing football and you had a gain of 5 yards, that would be plus 5 or positive 5. 6 feet below water, below sea level, would be at -6 because you're under 6. So those would be examples of integers in real life and how you use them. The last thing we'll look at is just comparing integers. So comparing integers is comparing numbers that are bigger or smaller to each other. So let's review some symbols really quick. Remember, this symbol is less than. This symbol is greater than. Then you have the equal sign, which means equal to or the same. So if I gave you some numbers to compare, you should be able to use your number line and compare the numbers. So for example, let's say I gave you, compare the 3 to -5. So is 3 less than, greater than, or equal to 5, -5. So positive numbers are always bigger than negative, so I'm going to put the greater than sign. -5 compared to 0. So on the number line, remember, negative lines are to the left of 0, so that means that they are less than 0. The tricky part is comparing negative numbers. So here's a little tip when you're comparing negative numbers. When comparing two negative numbers, whichever number is closer to 0 is bigger. So again, think of the number line that we put in your notebooks. When I'm comparing -10 and -20, the number that's closer to 0 is bigger. So -10 is closer to 0. So -10 is bigger than -20. So your first assignment is going to be working with integers and comparing them and describing real life situations with them.